Hi, and thank you so much for joining us for the quick overview of the ePanic button. This is just going to be a quick review of the program so you can get up to speed, and then we have other tutorials to help you understand the program as well. First of all, the ePanic button is a client server application, meaning there's a small program that goes on your computer. It gets installed and then it interacts with our database in the cloud that configures the buttons and relays the messages. To get started, you'll be given a username and login. So just log in, at which point you can first find your download client in the upper right corner with this download symbol. So you click on that and you'll get the download and executable. When you install the program, when you launch the program, there'll be a wizard that goes through. You'll see the wizard asking you to finish. It'll go through the program and then it'll finish, at which point then you will enter your registration ID. That registration ID is a long string that is given to you when you first contacted us. However, you could also obtain it by just clicking on this icon right here, which will copy your registration ID for you. Now, after it is installed, then you are going to have one final step of entering the user information. Please understand that the program is tied to the computer, not the user. So regardless of who is logged in, it will always have the same profile. Therefore, if you have a station that's used by multiple users, it's really best to name that station by its location, like front desk or nurse's station or something like that. Well, once you fill in the user information, you're going to find your user on the portal. Once you log in, then you'll find your user. For instance, this is the user security desk, which matches my profile right here. So you can see it's good to go. Now, the essential use of the program is simply done by just mousing over the red icon in the lower right side of your computer. Usually this is where your notification tray sits. And when you mouse over this red icon, you will have the buttons to press to send off the messages. You will also see there's a white icon, but this icon handles the receiving of the alert. So when you receive a message, this is what populates the messages that'll be going towards you. Just to set it off, mouse over and click. Each of these things, each of these icons also has a corresponding hotkey. And I'll go over this in a little bit, but you could see the different hotkeys like Control Shift F5 or Control Alt Shift A, which will activate the buttons as well. Now I'm going to send, you cannot send messages to yourself with the desktop alert. So I've got a workstation next to me that I'm going to send a message to myself. There you go. You can see the alert going off. You hear the alarm. To stop the alarm, you can click I'm okay or I got it. And therefore it logs when you confirmed getting the message and you can read it. The message really contains two basic parts: who sent it, the name, location, department, and then what button was pressed. The security button, which says please send security. That corresponds with this button right here, please send security. So again, I'll show you in a second how we could deal with these configurations, but that's a basic overview of how the program works. Now, for those who want to handle the configuration and setting up the buttons, we log in and you'll see a number of tabs on the left. Groups refer to sets of buttons. So you could organize your users and your buttons by groups. So if you just have a small office, just use our standard default general group, but you may want to have different buttons for different locations or for different roles, such as administrators are the only ones that can have a lockdown button. Now you can send messages to anyone regardless of group. So even if you geographically have a spread out of the different groups, you can still send the messages to them if you so choose. It just means if I'm in group A, then I have group A buttons. It's as simple as that. The next concept, well, the next thing is about buttons. Here you can see I filtered it. So I have all the admin buttons at the top and then the general group buttons at the bottom. With all of these tables, we have these universal icons of plus to add, pencil to edit, trash can to delete. The add and edit button are pretty similar. So I'll just edit a button to show you what it looks like. You could choose what group it goes into. You can name the button. The title refers to what sits underneath the icon. So naturally, it needs to be short, under 8 characters, so it fits in the window. You can choose the message, whatever message goes out, which icon you would like. You could have it mute or a silent alarm if you'd like. And then there's a send delay as well. You could have it go out automatically at 0 seconds, or a 5-second or a 10-second delay. The severity level refers to the sound. There are 3 different audible alarms, and they have just different sounds, and you can choose which one if you'd like right there. And at the bottom, you could choose the hotkeys. It does have to be at least 2 keys, like Control F9 or something like that, or it could be up to 4 keys. That's how you create the button. However, if you so wish then to assign the receivers, that's all done in this column over here. So again, go to buttons, go to the button that you want to change the receivers for. And we have 3 sets of icons: telephone, an envelope, and a little computer. If you click on the telephone, that's simply for the text messages. So you can add a phone number and a name right there, or you can mass batch add if you've got 50 phone numbers you want to send to all the buttons. Then you just do it once, copy it, and then you can copy and paste it. And the instructions are right here. Same exact thing with the emails as well. Just add them separately, or you could batch add it as well. This is where you could also add a phone number if you want them to someone to call the organization, to call the receiver directly. So it'll be a computer that reads the message and then calls that person's phone and then reads it to them. You just simply add an extension onto their phone number, and that's in our install instructions that that you'll be getting as well. But just moving on, the thing that's a little bit different is the desktop pop-up alerts. In order to receive the desktop pop-up alert, let me just give you an example. In order to get this pop-up alert that looks like that going off on your computer, you have to be assigned as a receiver. So you click on desktop receivers, and here's where you could choose who gets it. So for instance, you could click the plus button, and then anyone who is currently not a receiver will be listed there. But these are the receivers of this medical button. Just click on the plus sign to add them. And of course, you can select and remove them as well by deleting them. The final thing that I want to show regarding the program is the alert logs. So in this tab, you could get a full list of who pressed the button, what button, and when they did it. And you could print out this sheet of all the alerts, get a log for maybe your quarterly security meetings. But another feature I want to show you is for every alert, you also have the ability to see who confirmed. So if you click on it, you could see which users received the message and what time they confirmed getting the message. So that's great for emergency management. Well, this is really just a quick overview of the core features of the program. If you have any questions at all, please contact us, or we're going to create some additional videos where you can get into the nitty-gritty of some of the other ways you can configure the program. Thank you so much, and please let us know how we can help.